Okay, I guess I should say something. Hello, anyone who's here right now. I don't think there's anyone actually here right now. That's okay. I'm recording this for later, actually. So if anyone wants to come in and say hi, they can. This channel, this is DJW Live. This is a channel I have built just for the purpose of live streams and other side projects and so forth that don't belong on my main channel. The only other, as I record this, the only other video that's here right now is a video about Scotty from Star Trek, which would take a while to explain. Anyway, I'm here to talk about Christrighteous. That kid. Okay, so using OBS here, let's see if I can do this okay. I should be getting a web browser. So this is Christrighteous' channel. This is a live web browser shot. I can go to videos. I kind of have this set up anyway, just in case he went live streaming. Because last night, if you didn't catch it, he went live stream. He went live stream for about 4.5 hours. And then as soon as he stopped the stream, he deleted the video. Now, had it occurred to me to do this at the time, I would have done what I'm doing right now and basically recorded and or live streamed, I guess piggyback live streamed Christrighteous' live stream, so that there would be a record of it despite what he did. And that's the plan going forth, if I am alerted to it, because apparently I kind of thought he'd been disappearing for the last few weeks, but apparently this is what he does now. He makes live streams and then deletes them. So what I'm talking about today, though, is censorship. One of the things he said, he claimed, I was kind of in and out a few times during that night. I wasn't never there longer for like a few minutes, but I did catch some interesting things. One of the things I caught was, I mentioned in the chat there that I will not go into his Discord and will not participate in any serious way in the live chat because he participates in censorship. He mutes and kicks people he doesn't want to talk to or that he is afraid of. And he got really pissed at that. He said, no, I only mute people or I only kick people who are disrespectful. That is what he said. I only kick or mute people who are disrespectful. By the way, I just noticed I think Gut Sick Gibbon is also streaming right now. Or recently has been. So if you're watching me instead of her, wow, thanks. And are you crazy? No, but so yeah, Almondo claims that he doesn't kick or mute people unless they're disrespectful. Now, here's what he's done today. He's posted a couple of memes today on his community channel. This meme here, it's hard to argue against God when you're arguing for God. And there's no elaboration on that. Discover the evidence they've been looking for, but still choose not to believe in God. Yeah. This is from Frank Turek's website, and Frank Turek likes to pretend that there are no atheists. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys who he has to maintain the facade that, well, atheists won't accept the evidence because they're dishonest, because they don't want to believe. That's the only way they can, because they can't accept that we honestly reject the evidence. Because that means that the evidence can be honestly rejected, which means that Christian apologetics is a total waste of time. And their egos can't take that. There's no elaboration, though, on this meme, and nor, if you look down here under where it says comment, nor are there any comments. I take it back. Somebody posted 8 seconds ago. I wonder if it's somebody who's watching this stream. Okay, So I'm glad I caught this because It's now part of the video. Sweet Siren, still being incredibly disrespectful. Link? Question mark. And that was posted. It is 9:19 p.m. Eastern Time. I like to go by Eastern Time. And as of right now, this comment by Sweet Siren exists. So there's one, I'll refresh this, there's one comment here I was getting ready to say, and there's one comment here now. I was getting a whole petter, and it's Sweet Siren again, and he's just saying link. Yeah, so this comment too exists right now, and we'll see if it still exists tomorrow. But otherwise, this is the meme I really wanted to show you, though. It really intrigues. It's the woman yelling at the cat meme. I don't need God because I have science. Actually, science needs God. And Christrighteous writes, it really intrigues me that atheist, and I'm reading it exactly as he wrote it, will use science to argue against God, but science needs God in order to be used or understood. Science in Latin means, and this is something he did last night when he got flustered, is he went to like dictionary.com and looked up a meaning of a word and chose one part of that word and said, I'm not doing that, or that part's not true, or whatever. Which is a common evasive tactic for kids, you know. Science in Latin, by the way, if I'm being disrespectful toward Christrighteous here, it's because I don't respect him. As a philosopher, as a rhetorician, I don't respect him, and I don't bother to hide the fact. He writes, science in Latin means knowledge, science, skill, expertness, awareness, acquaintance. Scientia. These are the attributes and qualities of God. Now, acquaintance is an attribute of God? I mean, did he really think about that? Interesting, right? It seems to me that atheists believe God after all. They just apply godhood to their favorite subject of study, science. They are studying God without the awareness of doing it. That's what he posted alongside this meme. Let's see if this one comment still exists. It does. Okay. So, but if you will note, you will see that that is the only comment here. Now, if you'll bear with me 1 second. I should have had all this ready to go, shouldn't I? Oh. Here it is. So if I'm doing this right, you will now see a picture. This is not a live picture on the left. This is a picture, this is a screenshot that I grabbed when I left this comment about an hour ago. About an hour ago, give or take. I didn't look at the time. I posted it under the DJW Live thing because he long ago blocked my main account, for daring to say that Frank Turek had been debunked. Oops, I got a screenshot of the Thompson and French comment you deleted before you deleted it. So now, keeping in mind that I possess the full text of the comment, explain to me why you felt it was disrespectful. Because you claim that's the only reason you censor people, right? Because they're disrespectful? And needless to say, I am screenshotting this comment as well. And if you look at the live page, move this out of the way, if you look at the live page, again, this is Christrighteous' community site. You can go and look at it for yourself right now. You will see that that comment doesn't exist. Nor does the comment by Thompson and French that I'm talking about. Because at about 3 o'clock today, again, I didn't quite look at the time, but at about 3 o'clock today, I noticed a comment had been posted here by a YouTube user named Thompson in French. And I was on my phone at the time because I wasn't at my computer, I was on my phone, but I was thinking, and because I was thinking, I managed to grab a screenshot, or actually a series of screenshots, on the comment. Now this one is much easier to find. It's very large. I'm gonna try to resize this here. Oh, there we go. So the text is dark because I was on my phone. My phone has a dark theme. This is the comment that was left at about 3 or 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. I'm sorry to say this. I'm not sure that English is this guy's native language, but I'm sorry to say this, but your argument, he's addressing Christrighteous, contains logical fallacies and quite a few of them. This means that, as presented, your argument can't be used to demonstrate the conclusion you wish to make. I hope you consider these points and use my criticism to improve your rhetorics. First of all, the argument was presented as proof that science needs God to be used or understood. But the conclusion of the argument is that atheists inadvertently study God when they employ science. Since you are using a point for one position in favor of another, unrelated or only weakly related one, this makes it a red herring. Most importantly, though, this is a non sequitur, which is Latin for does not follow. In this case, it refers to the fact that it doesn't follow from the premise that if science has some traits in common with God, then in fact it is God. Think of it like this. Just because we agree that something has some traits in common with God does not mean we agree that this something has the traits we don't believe an existing God would have. This guy kind of nailed it. Hey, I'm looking at a human right now, and Natalie Portman is a human. Does that mean I'm looking at Natalie Portman right now? That's basically the fallacy. I'm not sure it's a well, it is a non sequitur, but I think there's a better word for the fallacy. I'll look at that later. He continues, but there is more. This is all right, I'm going to switch to the next one in the series here. But there is more. This is also a case of equivocation. That is, switching the definition of the word for convenience in the middle of an argument. In this case, the word is science. When atheists say they believe in science, they are talking specifically about the scientific method and the results produced by that. Your assertion that they must also hold to the archaic definition of the word science when they say they believe in science doesn't hold water. It's important to understand what they mean when they use a word and not just argue about what the dictionary says. Last but not least, the argument is a response to atheists who use science to argue against God. In fact, atheists don't usually use science to argue against God. This is a superficially similar but significantly weaker argument compared to the, in my experience, common position of atheists. As far as I'm concerned, this makes it a straw man argument. I'm going to slightly disagree with Thompson and French here because there are a number of atheists, Quentin Smith, Victor Stenger, both of whom now, the late Smith and Stenger, who did attempt to prove the non-existence of God or probabilistically establish the non-existence of God using science. It's rare that people actually use scientific arguments, that atheists actually use scientific arguments to try to prove that God doesn't exist, but it does happen. So I would not call it a straw man, provided everybody understands we're talking about a minority of atheists here, which certainly Christrighteous made no effort to make that clear. So little issue here with Thompson and French, but otherwise, let's continue. Remember that it's always easier to fight a straw man than the actual enemy. Of course, what easier enemy is there to fight than one that you can pretend doesn't exist? Which, if you look at Christrighteous' comment right now, again, this is live on the right. This is how it looks right now. The Thompson and French comment you're looking at the left, this was a comment posted on Christrighteous' video, or not, this isn't a video, it's a meme. Posted on the meme this afternoon, a few hours ago, and is no longer there. He continues, the actual position is that science does not support the specific arguments made by certain religious people and institutions. For example, the young earth creationism, and I'm going to go to the next one here, movement, and also that there is no scientific evidence for the existence of God. So God's existence should be rejected as unsupported. In order to avoid strawmen, it's helpful to ask for clarification if you can. There are probably more logical fallacies, but these are the ones I could find. I do hope this helps and that you found my post educational and entertaining. Now, you be the judge. Was Thompson and French's comment here disrespectful? The only place where it could possibly be interpreted as disrespectful was there is probably more logical fallacies. And, you know, that could perhaps be construed. It could also be construed as a language barrier issue. But the overall tone of the comment was cordial and it was helpful. It was not attacking. It was not accusatory at all. There was nothing there that Christrighteous might have taken personally at all. I don't think. Again, you be the judge. I'll pull up the first part of it here. It is not disrespectful to say that your argument has logical fallacies. When you hear that your argument has logical fallacies, the proper response is to either say no, it doesn't, and here's why it doesn't, or to thank them for pointing that out. Christrighteous thanked this guy because he didn't say no, it's not fallacies, and here's why. Instead, he thanked Thompson and French by deleting their comment entirely. Again, this is a live picture of Christrighteous' community tab. I'll go back here, refresh the page. Yep, you can go see it right now on his community tab. I'm kind of clicking over to the video tab just to see if he's live streaming, because if he is, he's going to immediately delete the stream and pretend the whole thing didn't happen. Glancing at chat now. Hello everyone who's here. Commenter had good enough points and was rather respectfully given. That was just constructive criticism. That's exactly what I think, Wolfos. That's exactly my take on it. Now, the other thing about Christrighteous I wanted to say tonight, and I'm going to preface this by saying what I'm about to tell you is something I learned secondhand. I did not see this myself. And one of the reasons I've kind of been poised to kind of try to capture him is because I wanted to try to see it myself. But what I've been told, and I'm going to go to the thread on my own community tab to look at this. Nick Saudi brought this to my attention, that he is apparently offering $50. Christrighteous is offering $50 to any atheist who could prove that God doesn't exist. Reading from my own community tab here. He makes the streams, then deletes them immediately after. He has made 4 such streams so far, and each one introduces a new condition to the challenge. So, does anyone here remember Kent Hovind's $250,000 challenge? Kent Hovind, rather infamous young earth creationist, Used to, doesn't anymore, but used to offer a $250,000 challenge to prove evolution. In fact, let me... This is a video I made a few months ago on
Kent Hovind, or to use his full title, inmate 06452017, young Earth creationist, convicted tax evader, and, as of this recording, convicted domestic abuser, does not exist. The reason I know he does not exist is that for 20 years I have run a $500,000 challenge for Kent to prove his own existence. Kent knows, or would know if he existed, that the challenge is fair because it is modeled after his own $250,000 challenge to prove evolution. Specifically, the claimant is not entitled to independently verify the existence of any funds that might be awarded as a result of a successful claim. The claimant will provide evidence for his claim to Dr. David John Wellman, who will forward it to a panel of judges who shall be the sole decider as to whether the claimant has succeeded in proving his claim. Dr. David John Wellman will facilitate all communication between the claimant and the judges and will act as a first filter in deciding which claims or which evidence will be forwarded to the judges. The claimant is not entitled to know the identity of the judges nor to independently verify the existence of the judges. This offer is for entertainment purposes only and is not legally enforceable contract in the United States or its federal territories. So clearly the challenge is fair because these were Kent's own terms. So all Kent has to do for a cool $500,000 is to provide evidence that he exists. He hasn't because he can't because he doesn't exist. Period. End of file. Game over. Kent Hovind doesn't exist. You're done. Kent Hovind, or...
And the reason I was talking so fast there, even at the beginning and the end, is it was kind of hard to squeeze that whole thing in under a minute. So, yeah. Ken Hovind had a $250,000 challenge to prove evolution. The money may or may not exist. Be decided by a panel of judges who may or may not exist. He would decide what evidence to pass to the judges. He would reject any evidence for anything, and also he had a definition of evolution that was had nothing whatsoever to do with biological evolution. Needless to say, Kent Hovind's money was very, very safe, which he didn't have the money. Let's face it, he didn't have $250,000. It was all bluster. Christrighteous was at least somewhat realistic when he's offering $50 to anyone who can prove that God doesn't exist. And again, I have to say, this is secondhand information. This is something I got from one of my viewers, a guy named Nick Saudi. He said, "It's not enough that you disprove his conception of God, but you have to give 3 proofs for God's non-existence. Explain how the universe exploded from nothing and how evolution explains value theory." How evolution explains value theory. Do that and he'll give his best 3 proofs. So, the universe didn't explode from nothing. It exploded from a singularity. That's the observed universe. And I don't believe that there ever was a philosophical nothing for anything to come out of. Evolution doesn't explain value theory. Value theory deals with normative propositions, and evolution deals with scientific propositions. The two things don't have anything to do with each other. 3 proofs for God's non-existence. 1 is enough if it's successful. No reason why 1 isn't enough, provided it's successful. There is no silver bullet argument in the philosophy of religion to prove or disprove the existence of God. If there were, we'd either all be atheists or we'd all be Christians. Right? There's no silver bullet argument. And he wants 3 of them. Needless to say, I think Christrighteous's money is pretty safe. But at least he's realistic in only offering $50 instead of $250,000. So yeah, he's gone. I very much doubt. I've never seen mention of Kent Hovind either on his channel or in his book. So I have no reason to think that he was inspired by Hovind's $250,000 challenge. I think he came up with the idea all on his own, probably on the spur of the moment. Yeah, I'll give you $50 if you can prove that God doesn't exist. Oh, it has to be 3 separate proofs of God's non-existence. Oh, you also have to prove value theory and how the universe exploded from nothing. Yeah, his money is safe. There's no argument that will convince a kid, let's face it, he's a kid, who A, doesn't understand the ideas, and B, very, very badly does not want to be convinced. There's even a silver bullet argument wouldn't convince someone like that, let's face it. But that's apparently what he's doing now. And the reason I've been poised to kind of hopefully record his live stream is that I'm hoping he'll show up and do it again, so I can capture it before he deletes it, because apparently he's doing live streams and then immediately deleting them. I did try looking for his Discord. I will never actually participate in his Discord. That will never happen. I will never put myself in a venue where he can censor me. And if you're just joining me in the last 5 minutes or so, I've gone through a big thing. If you look at the screen on the left, this is a comment that Christrighteous Armando Calvo deleted from this right here. It's saying 2 comments now, but I'm only seeing 1. One of you guys leave a comment without my knowing it, or what's going on there? Well, in any case, neither Thompson and French's comment, part of which you see here, nor my own comment, which I'll pull that up again. This is the comment I left when I saw that Thompson and French's comment had been deleted. And as you can see on the left is a screenshot from an hour or 2 ago when I made that comment. And on the right is a live web browser. It says there are 2 comments, but only 1 is visible. So I don't know what that's about. So yeah, he deleted Thompson's and French comment, and he deleted my comment. So I will never, ever participate in a venue where Christrighteous has control over my voice. That will never happen. And he can accuse me of cowardice if he wants. You know, I stopped responding to the "What's the matter, McFly? Chicken?" maneuver when I was younger than he is now. So that's just not going to happen. But I did think about poking my head in there, so I poked around his videos in his community tab, looking for a link to his Discord. Oh, something else I wanted to show you. His book, his Lulu book. He had a post here in addition to this one here, which he deleted, and it said, "Helping Christians and destroying atheists." Not destroying atheism. Destroying atheists. And that gives you an idea of how his mind works. Anyway, the link to his book, let me just click on this link here. 404. Same thing I noticed yesterday. The page for his book is 404. This means, this has happened before. This happened before a few weeks ago. And it went back up about 24 hours later. But now it's down. It's been down for the last couple days, and it may be that it will stay down this time. I don't know. Yeah, he's persecution complex. Anyway, he's going through and deleting embarrassing things like, oh, his book was supposed to be on discount last week, March 20th through 26th. He was hyping that pretty heavily, and it never went on discount. It never wavered from its $15 price. He never said that. I watched. He never lowered the price of the book. So one gets the feeling that he doesn't take this very seriously. I think I said in one of my videos about him that he doesn't actually want to be an apologist. He just wants to be able to say that he's an apologist. And to be able to point at things like a YouTube channel and a published book in order to do that. He probably has said it to holding comments until review. Well, that may be the case. I'm not sure why that would count if that were the case, but it may be the case. He has enclosed himself from any criticism on every platform: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. He's constructed an echo chamber. Thank you. That's exactly what I've been saying. So, yeah, echo chamber. For a while, last night, I thought maybe we had punched a hole in the echo chamber. Because the last hour, I like poked my head into his live stream last night for a minute here, a minute there, or whatever. And he looked pretty subdued. He looked pretty beaten down. During that last hour when he was actually talking to Logic. And I did catch just a small glimpse of him saying, I'm admitting my wrongs in making the video about his parenting skills. And sure enough, if you go to the video tab, you will see that the video with Logic's face and his kid is no longer there. He took that down. He also took down the Elf Dawkins videos. He took down the videos of him, speaking in a very bad English accent in front of his Christmas lights, which is how he got the Elf Dawkins thing. Anyway, so that's all I wanted to go over tonight. If you kind of joined in late, basically what's been going on is Christrighteous is engaging in censorship on his channel, in his venues, and is lying about it. There should be a comment right here by Thompson and French giving some constructive criticism. That has been deleted. There should be a comment here by me pointing out that that comment was deleted, and that too has been deleted. When this goes up in a little bit, you can rewind and see for yourself what happened there. What he's after is becoming YouTube famous, and the easiest way is to be a creationist evangelist. I'm quite sure. It's you, Nick. Nick, I was just talking about you. Welcome. Thanks for giving me the heads up about the $50 challenge thing. But I'm pretty sure there are easier ways to attain YouTube fame than being a creationist evangelist. Apparently, looking at I won't say his name, but apparently another guy that I've had dealings with, he's found some modest amount of fame posting videos about doomsday prepping, and also some Spanish rap videos, which good for him. I'm glad that he's finding success there. There are all sorts of hot topic things to tap into if you want to be YouTube famous. I don't think he even wants to be YouTube famous. I just think he wants to have a high opinion of himself. I'm not going to go too much into psychoanalysis, but that's kind of, I think, what's going on. He doesn't take it seriously. He just doesn't take it seriously. If he took it seriously, he would pay attention to the arguments that the other people were making, which, looking at his live stream last night, very clearly he wasn't doing that. So I'm going to call it here, and everyone who came in live for this, thank you very much. Everyone who watches this later, thank you very much. Once again, this channel, DJW Live, this is an auxiliary to my main channel, which is David John Wellman. I'll post a link in the description, and you can enjoy what you see there. But this channel is for live streams and other, side projects and so on. So everyone who came in, thanks so much for coming in. And enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.